We're back here at home. Let's see what goes down. It's episode 27 of Talk of the Town. Good evening and welcome to the People's Pension Stadium for episode 27 of 27. We've got 27 shows into this garbage. You are very welcome to join us. We're outside. We're outside in the beautiful weather. We thought, you know, COVID, it's a little. We can socially distance here. We've got a stage built. We're outside. COVID can breathe rather than being up in the pod. Actually, terrible idea. We're getting absolutely soaked, and it wasn't a good idea. Harry Maynard, hello, how are you?
It's been a while since we've been here.
It feels like it's been a very, very long time.
A lot's changed considering now we are outside. It's like we've got the sponsor. And
yes.
We've been kicked out our home.
Yeah, I did actually say too, Mr. Declutter, ever since he sponsored the show, we then had a run of games called off. So he was probably thinking, what have I spent my money on? And we were thinking, hang on, maybe it's a bad omen. But no, obviously we are sponsored by Mr. Declutter. Huge thank you to those for sponsoring the show. Coming up, of course, you can watch the game live. For season ticket holders, you can watch on iFollow here in just under an hour's time. And of course, iFollow.
What? In spirit, in soul, you make every tackle, score every goal. You're part of it, wherever you are in the world. From the first minute until the last kick. Victories, heartbreaks, you're part of the fabric, the passion, devotion, supercharging emotion. For you there is only one, abiding loyalty, togetherness that is second to none. Follow every kick, every tackle, every goal. With access to live stream games and matchday commentary, with coverage spanning the globe. Behind the scene content, newsletters and match highlights. There is no better way for you to get closer to your club. And with iFollow sales supporting them, there's no better way to show your love. When you can't be there with iFollow.
Yes, iFollow is of course accessible for everybody. If you are a season ticket holder, there is no charge for that. It's part of your season ticket. But if you're not, if you're a casual fan, haven't got a season ticket, you can still watch today's action for just £10. Set up an iFollow account if you haven't done so. If you haven't done so, where have you been? But if you haven't done so, set up an account, £10, and you can get tonight's live action. A week ago today, we were in action away at Bournemouth in the fourth round of the FA Cup. That historic cup run ended last Tuesday in Bournemouth. Our sponsors that evening for the sleeve were the Elliott Scott Group. They kindly sponsored the sleeve and to support our fourth round game. And they chose Josh Wright as their man of the match. Here.
A big thank you to Elliott Scott Group for choosing me as man of the match from the other night. To be in a chance of winning my shirt, follow them on Twitter. Give it a retweet and hopefully you can be the lucky winner.
Yes, so if you want to win a signed Josh Wright shirt, match-worn shirt from the Bournemouth game the other night, follow the Elliott Scott Group, share their post. It should be going out on Twitter and Facebook as we speak. Share their post and you will go in with a chance of winning a signed Josh Wright shirt. Harry, a little bit of chaotic start.
We start now.
It's not gone particularly well, I'll be honest. We're getting wet. We've had some difficulties. We've got the filming company here cowered under an umbrella.
We took over the tannoy.
We took over the tannoy, yes, the new mic system linked in with the tannoy. So our what we were saying here was going over the tannoy. Absolute carnage. But listen, we go again. Harry, obviously disappointing result, wasn't it, away at Cambridge at the weekend? But I think, to be fair, you've got to give credit to Cambridge. They were a decent side, I thought.
Yeah, I think not to say they bullied us, but when you just look at a side and you think, yeah, they're really really well drilled, plenty of experience, especially like through the middle of the pitch. Similar to when we lost to Carlisle here, you kind of walk away going, yeah, I think we've been beaten by the better team. Dust yourselves down and go again this week. And it's nice to come off that and have 2 home games in a week. Yeah,
absolutely. And I believe you've got the.
You're looking at me because I haven't got my phone, but I think it's all up here.
Okay, go on, tell us the team news.
I think it's just one change. Nadesan comes in for Maguire-Drew, so that should leave us Morris, Frankham, Craig, Tunnicliffe, Dallison, Hessenthaler, Wright, Powell, Nadesan, Nichols. That's 10, isn't it?
I don't know.
That's about right. It's one change. It's one change.
It's
Nadesan comes in, Jordan Maguire-Drew drops out. So it's a boost having Nadesan come back in. I think the fans will be happy with that.
Yeah, I heard a few people say they sort of felt we missed Nadesan. I don't know why he wasn't in the squad, whether it was an injury or not, I don't know. But yeah, great to see him back. I think one thing that sort of stood out. I do actually do some research.
Sam Matthews, let's give him credit. He's in the 11 tonight.
Yeah,
as well.
yeah. Well, you were panicking there, weren't you? One thing that what Cambridge have got, and we saw on Saturday is 2 people who score goals in Ironside and Mullin. Tonight, they're obviously Leyton Orient rely very heavily from what I can see on Danny Johnson, but I'm not sure if he's starting tonight. I don't know.
No, I haven't checked their team news, so stand by for Leyton Orient team news. It's coming.
So they seem to rely quite heavily on his goals. There don't seem to be too many goals outside of him and one other guy. So
I think it was unique anyway that we said it before in the show before the Cambridge game that it's not often you get a League Two side with 2 sort of standout goal scorers in your team. So it'd be nice for the boys just to focus on dealing with the one main man tonight. I mean, for us, I know people have said we lost Waters and it's not a huge miss. I think it was always the right decision to sell him. We haven't necessarily got someone that can just automatically take over the numbers that he was scoring. I think Nichols is on 7. Nadesan's actually on fewer. So it just goes to show how important Nadesan is to our team, maybe beyond actually scoring. Yeah,
one thing that's sort of I noticed earlier on when I was just having a look in preparation for tonight was we've also got a number of goals from around the squad. It's something that Leyton Orient haven't appeared to have up till now. Like George Frankham scored 4 in all competitions. Jordan Tunnicliffe has scored 4 in all competitions. Like, it's important, isn't it, that your centre halves are chipping in, your fullbacks even chipping in. Jake Hessenthaler scored at the weekend. That's a really key component of trying to push into the playoffs.
Yeah, and it might be a big boost for Hessenthaler. It might be playing away at the back of his mind that he had got through half the season from central midfield and not actually scored. So you never know. Sometimes that can, similar to Frankham, that might spark a run of games where he finds the back of the net. Probably nice as well that if you are a striker, if you have that off night, you can't play your best football every single game, that you can turn around and all of a sudden you've got other lads chipping in as well. It must be quite a nice feeling.
The pressure's off. We spoke there about Crawley's defeat to Cambridge at the weekend. Let's take a look back at the action from Saturday.
It with the best. They have a free kick to defend here, and it's Houlihan who's behind it. Houlihan's delivery. This is where he's so effective. And just look at that, after just 11 minutes, the league leaders are ahead. It's Joe Ironside with his 10th of the season, into double figures for the campaign. Fine delivery here from Houlihan. Defence hesitated. Ironside hooks the ball into the back of the net, beyond Morris, and Cambridge into an early lead. Just the start here that Cambridge would have been hoping for. Houlihan again looking to orchestrate in midfield. Hannant demanding the ball, but he won't get it. Cambridge are forced back by the Crawley press, and they've done well here to win the ball back. Crawley up to the edge of the area. Nichols, clever touch, and just like that, Crawley at back level. The finish from Jake Hessenthaler after a clever touch from Nichols. Superb awareness here to pick out his teammates. Clever passage of play and a fine finish too. Rolled into the far corner, beyond Burton. Crawley Town showing that Cambridge won't get things all their own way here. Noyle lifts one into the penalty area. Ironside in there, searching for his teammate with the knockdown. Those two who've combined so well all season. Referee gives a free kick for Cambridge. And again, it's going to be Houlihan, this time to strike goalwards and easily gathered by Glenn Morris. He looks in fine form here today and he looks really up for it. May just have picked up a slight injury with that one. Crawley quite happy for Cambridge to bring the ball into their half. Then they're applying the press. They've managed to fly through that, and here comes Hannant. Driving effort, not too far away. Well, that would have been spectacular. Had Glenn Morris flying across towards his right together. Keeper did brilliantly here. Fierce strike. Up towards Ironside. Drops on the edge of the area. Cambridge just can't get that ball to sit down. Mullin comes back towards Niall. Whoa, what a goal that is! Super strike from the fullback. Fired up into the top corner to fire Cambridge into the lead. Right on the stroke of half-time. A spectacular effort from an unlikely source. What a strike. And a few changes here, Crawley, as they try to find an equaliser. They have some options here off of the bench, and one of them on the ball now, Davis. Davis has a quick look into the penalty area. And this is maybe where Crawley miss Max Watters. There's a big Watters-size hole in this side. Delivery does come in, nice searching ball. And Okadina, confident in his ability, nodding over the top of the crossbar. Did look like for just a moment this could be a terrible own goal. Space to run into here for Houlihan. Bursting into the penalty area. Here come Cambridge. Fine stop again from Glenn Morris. Well, he's been brilliant in this game, the goalkeeper. And again, it's a wonderful, wonderful save here. Shot unleashed at some pace. Fingertips from the goalkeeper. Cambridge again looking to spring forward at pace. Two waiting in the middle. Hannant and Mullin are there. Here is Houlihan though. Houlihan squeezes the ball beyond Morris. And with 5 minutes remaining in the game, the league leaders go 3-1 ahead. Brilliant again from Houlihan, the provider earlier on in the game for the first goal. And here with a fine finish. Looking very, very good, Cambridge United at the top of the table.
Yeah, welcome back to the People's Pension Stadium, where we are joined now by CEO and Technical Director Erdem Konya. Erdem, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
You're already impressed with the soaking wet stage?
Oh, lovely, mate. Very creative, yes.
Those weren't the words you used when you walked over it.
We are going to play a game very shortly. We're going to bring in Tom from the media department as well to play a great game of Class or Clutter, which we will talk you through. But first, let's have a chat with Erdem. Erdem, obviously, a little bit disappointing on Saturday, wasn't it? But we were saying earlier on, Cambridge, good side.
Yeah, look, at the end of the day, I think we have to be realistic. We've had a COVID outbreak. They haven't played on Tuesday against Salford. 90 minutes against Salford, they're not going to be as fit as they are already as there was on Saturday. Pitch wasn't the greatest for our type of football we want to play, but they are the league leaders. They were better than us on the day, pound for pound. So we got to take it and hopefully get back into our stride today.
Did it turn out to be quite a good opportunity to get some of the new faces involved? I know it's hard to chuck them straight into a league game, but I think it was good in a way that they could get some important minutes as we come into more fixtures thick and fast.
I think it's more minutes for everyone. Tony and George hadn't played in a while, so they got their minutes in their legs. So it's just about getting everyone back fit. But yes, I mean, on that note, like when you see Tilly, you see what he can bring. Maguire, Drew, like you've seen a little glimpse of what they can bring. Now Josh Wright has had 2 games for us. Hopefully on the 3rd he's going to get a win.
And obviously the transfer window slam shut. I don't know why the transfer window was
always
slam
shut.
But it slammed shut yesterday. Overall, I imagine quite happy with the business that we've done.
Yeah, I think it's been the best business period in the club's history. But now it's not just about saying it's great business. Now we've got to put it into practice, build on it, and I think we've got a very critical 6 months for this football club, where if we can go again and do the business, repeat the business, or not as much, but 50 or 40% of the business we've done now, that'd be fantastic for the longevity of the football club.
Yeah, and I think one thing that really stands out with the likes, all the players that seem to come in the transfer window, they're all going to be competing for a start, aren't they? And certainly that's going to improve the squad as a whole. John will be able to turn around and look at his bench and go, do you know what? I've got 3 or 4 people here who can change a game.
I think we've improved the squad. I really do believe that. I know Max is a big player, but we've replaced him with 4 players. Some of them have experience. We've got 1 gem in Radari, potential gem. We will possibly get 1 or 2 more youngsters in the next 2 weeks. 1 local lad and 1, they're teenagers. So I don't expect anything from them this season, but we are growing that youth philosophy.
Some fans might not know this, but how hard has it been in the pandemic to still be able to go about your recruitment in the best way possible?
Yeah, it's tough in the sense that I think there's not much money flying around. So when you're trying to sell players, I think you can't get the same value as you did. Like, for example, this summer I felt we could have got more for a few players, but now looking at the pandemic and the figures that have gone in, I think £85 million was spent on all transfers in the UK. That's what was told today in January. Well, it's not bad considering we've got, where we are with that as a percentage isn't bad at all. So I thank my lucky stars, but it is a bad moment in the sense. Hopefully, someone's going to be better. Yeah, I really hope so.
And looking ahead on the field now. We were going through the games in the office earlier on, and like in February, I think we've got like 5 or 6 home games. The away games are the likes of Carlisle. I know we go to Carlisle, Barrows, Grimsby, Scunthorpe. There's some long old trips. Do you think this squad, and do you think, I suppose, League 2 squads in general, do you think they're going to be able to cope with that level of fixture congestion?
Well, at least everyone's doing it. I know we've got a fair few games more than others, but look, I believe in the lads. And I don't believe in home away, all this. We went to Forest Green, beat them. We beat Bolton away. We beat Leyton Orient away. We can beat anyone on our day, and anyone can beat us on their day. It's just make sure that we turn up.
We have more of our days than...
Yeah. I mean, we have to turn up and give ourselves more consistently, and hopefully that'll be the case, and we'll be all right.
And obviously, with loads of players coming in, a couple do have to leave, and obviously Josh Doherty went out on loan. It might have caught a few fans off guard, but I think someone who's got 100 appearances for the club, it's good to see that we can still keep them playing, and hopefully he can still have a big future at the club.
But you got to look at it this way, right? So Josh has got 6 months left on his contract. He's not playing. He hasn't looked to renew it. There hasn't been a discussion. We've tried to talk to him at the beginning of the year. We can't force people to come into the door and sign a contract. So if you're not going to do that, well, then you're not going to be a priority for the club to consider you an asset. That's just the way it works. It's a two-way street. Unfortunately, we are in a world that's a bit ruthless. It was a bit of a thunderbolt, but I respect Josh and I like Josh and I thank him for everything he's done for the club. But this is the best for the football club to move forward.
Yeah, I suppose looking at the people who we're expecting to be here for the long term, at least for the next few years.
Exactly. I mean, you've got Dallo playing there now, Cisse, Cerula there. Like, these guys have got longer contracts. I know Cisse's running out, but you can still gain the compensation because of his age. Yeah. So you still got a financial interest in him. Whereas if Doc plays every game and then goes for free and doubles his wages, great for him. But what about us?
Yeah. We're doing somebody else's.
Exactly.
Basically.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Don't look at me when you don't have a question.
We are going to have a look at sort of a roundup of the League 2 action in the transfer window. Erdem's going to give us his insight into a few players. Tom Cameron's going to join us on stage as well to have a chat about see what some of the other clubs are doing in a game of class or clutter. That will be coming up right after this break from the People's Pension.
2017, £30 million has been lost to pension scammers. That's about 26,000 Premier League season tickets. During these uncertain times, it's more important than ever to defend your hard-earned money. Be on the ball to anyone contacting you out of the blue. Find out more about pension scams and how to avoid them by visiting our website.
Yes, as everybody knows now, we are sponsored by Mr. D Clutter. The talk of the town is sponsored by those guys. Huge thank you to them. So in their honour, we're going to play a little game of Class or Clutter. Tom, you come up with that now. You're absolutely chuffed, aren't you? A little bit.
I'm delighted, to be honest with you. I'm really happy with that one.
Class or Clutter.
Best thing you've done since you joined the club.
It's about time you turned up, Tom. Well done.
Delightful, eh?
All right, boys. Leave it. Moving very swiftly on. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna go through I've got a couple of the big names down. I know Erdem was disgusted with my list. He's got some signings he thinks are gonna stand out. So let's go through them. Firstly, Marcus Maddison going from Charlton to Bolton. Bolton did quite a bit of work in the transfer window. A big signing for them. Someone who sort of a couple of years ago was looking to go into the Championship rather than League One.
No, it's definitely a good pedigree player. Didn't work out for him where he was, and hopefully now, well, not hopefully, but
Hopefully for us, we don't care.
I can care less. Hope he breaks his leg. No, I'm joking. But look, at the end of the day, no, I don't hope that. I'm joking around. But honestly, I don't see him having a great. I can see him doing well at Bolton. That's the truth. He is a good player.
So you're saying Class signing?
I'd say Class.
Yeah, I'm saying he's one of those people who seems to have, like, if you get his head right, obviously a great player. I'm saying Class signing for Bolton. What are you saying, Tom?
I've just seen on Twitter that the whole City fans absolutely hate him.
Okay.
So, because apparently he had a massive attitude problem and whatnot, so it might be that Bolton really needs to get his head down for him to play well on the pitch.
So Class or Clutter?
For the quality of player he is, I'd say Class.
You're going to say
I'll
Clutter?
go Clutter.
I
I think you look at Bolton's lineup sometimes and you think, oh, good player. But as a team, they're not picking up the right
He was
results.
trying to be the odd one out,
Yeah,
That's all it is.
We're
sponsored by Clutter. We can't be Class.
It's true.
Okay, so we've got 3 classes to one Clutter. Next one is Tristan Abrahams. Went from Newport to tonight's opponent, Leyton Orient. I believe he's on the bench. Harry?
Yeah.
No,
bags about him, and it's good to see he's got in the squad tonight. Hopefully he doesn't get on because if they bring on their new players,
Going to be desperate.
we don't want to see them hitting the ground running against us, do we?
What do you know, Tom?
I know he played an hour here for Newport and he got shipped off because he didn't have a great game. So hopefully he doesn't get on. Well, hopefully he does come on.
You're saying Clutter. I'm going to say Class on the basis that we're going to look really stupid if he comes on.
Very true.
He'll come
Cover
on, score a
yourself.
hat-trick, and I'm like,
I'll go with Class. I think he's a young Ruben Reid. I think he's got a chance. I like him. I think he can do well.
And Ruben's someone who scored against us a fair few times as well.
So, someone who certainly isn't a young Ruben Reid, Nicky Maynard. Been around, legend.
What
been
a
around
bloke.
You're saying Class, eh?
Yeah, Class.
Oh, is it the name? Is it
Not just the name. It's more than the name. I think you've got to have a bit of experience in your teams in League Two, especially.
I mean, he goes from League Two Mansfield, who have been struggling, obviously in a great run recently, but he goes to Newport. Newport seems to have a habit of finding players who maybe have gone a little bit off the boil but have that quality, and they seem to pull that quality out of them, don't they? So I reckon that could be a Class signing.
I'm going to say Class just for the fact that Newport announced it in such an amazing way.
It was a fantastic
The GTA thing, as a media man myself, hats off to them. It was brilliant.
I think it's Clutter. I think he's a bit past. I think he's lazy. That's right. How I've seen him this season. I don't think he turns up enough. And for the sake of our sponsor, we're going with Clutter.
Great
name, though. Great name.
Next, I've got another big name. David Nugent drops from Preston in the Championship down to Tranmere. What do you say?
I think you can only say Class because he brings leadership. I know he's got one international cap. To be playing in Tranmere are a big side. I think them and Vaughan together.
I was going to say that gives them a forward line of James Vaughan and Dave Nugent. Like, a lot of experience in there.
There's goals there.
It might not be in the last 20 minutes of a game.
And I noticed earlier on, in fact, I have got it on my sheet here. They're absolutely flying Tranmere.
Yeah, they are. After we beat them,
they went on a mad one.
Yeah, they've won the last
how many
4
teams
on the
sacked their
trot.
manager after playing cruelly?
Happens a lot.
Are we that team that we're so bad? If you lose to that lot, that's a bit harsh. Harry, David Nugent.
I think it's a gamble, obviously, but definitely I think if you can get a pairing of him and Vaughan, I think if you're a centre half, you look at that and there might be a little bit of respect playing around the back of your mind just because of what they've done previously in their careers. So I think he can have a Class off me.
Yeah, Tom.
Yeah, I'll say I'm not doing the sponsors much of a favour, but Class again for me, I think.
The last one I've got on my list is Frank Nublet. Interesting that because obviously he left. He sort of left Colchester, didn't he, last season? When the pandemic hit, they got rid of a few senior pros, and he come back and played in the playoffs. He went to Plymouth, and he's already back at Colchester this January. I mean, on the face of it, I think it's a good signing for Colchester, given their troubles at the moment. They seem to be in a bit of bother down there. I think he's the sort of player who will drag them out of that.
I'd agree, just because whenever we see him against us, he normally causes us a few problems. And I know he's a good player. He doesn't actually have too many goals in his game for a striker, but I do think that it's probably a good signing for Colchester.
I think he's like the epitome of like a League Two kind of bully style centre forward, and I think if he comes up against like a young centre back or something like that, I think he might be on the end of a few goals and a few wins for them.
Yeah,
I think it's a low risk move in the sense he's familiar with the surroundings, knows the squad knows him. Done really well there, played playoffs with them, so I think it's a class move.
Yeah, and Erdem. So that was the one that I had on my list. I went for sort of the big names, if you like. There's a few players you're impressed with. Go on then, you give us a review straight to camera.
Nicky Adams.
Yeah.
Class or clutter?
Class.
He has to be. I don't think you can get anyone related with this club getting on here and being like someone signing Nicky Adams is clutter.
Lovely guy as well.
What he did
Nicky
it, yeah.
Adams.
Such a good player.
Yeah, obviously when he played here, really nice guy. Yeah,
I
good
think he'll do really
well.
well.
He's always at the top end of the assist table as well.
He's a pro.
No matter what club he's at, he delivers.
And he'll obviously link up with ex-Reds manager Harry Keel. The other one you mentioned was Danny Rowe, which is interesting for Bradford.
Yeah, I genuinely think he's a good player. I liked what he did against us at Oldham. I thought he was really good. I'm surprised he's gone there. I mean, in the sense they let him go. But I think he'll get 10 goals before the end of the season. Another 10.
Now, I just want to end this. A couple of years ago, we signed a gentleman called Glenn Morris.
Yeah.
Now, we probably would have said he signed as a third goalkeeper. Been around the league. Yeah, he was signed as a coach.
Right there.
if we were particularly harsh away side, we might be sitting going, well, yeah, that's a clutter signing. Like he's just cluttering the squad. Tonight is his 200th game for Crawley. Unbelievable, and what a servant for the club.
Mate, honestly, he's probably the best player we've signed in the sense of what he's given to the club as a character. You can always rely on him. Such low maintenance guy, like never comes and bothers you about contracts when, to be honest with you, don't tell him, but could probably earn a bit more. You know, so,
I'll go 50% on whatever he makes.
But no, honestly, I bet you would. Yeah. No, but honestly, he's just a fantastic lad. A great, and I hope he's a part of this club for a long time.
Yeah.
Off the pitch, I really hope, and I just hope we give him the respect, and he deserves a role here, man. He's a top lad.
Yeah, I think I totally agree with what you're saying. Everyone sees what he does on the pitch. I don't think people see actually what a lovely bloke he is off the pitch. Like, no, sort of person. If you need something signed or you need to sort of get a message to the lads. Glenn's your man.
All the academy work he's doing, which has helped us with Raf and Simon. That's through Glenn as well. So he's helping us with our youth projects as well. So he's a top lad.
And Harry, we've seen some goalkeepers here in our time.
Yeah.
I going way back. Ben Hamer, who went on to have a great career, he was on loan here. Like he's the one to me who stands out. Who was exceptional.
Yeah, Freddie Woodman I think was up there as well. He was really good in his
terms
time
of players, in terms of goalkeepers who are ours and sort of. Yeah, have played over series. I think he's probably the best goalkeeper I've seen.
I think you're right, and I think that there's such an element of trust with the fans there. I think if you're a goalkeeper, you're right in and amongst the terrace virtually. It can get sour pretty quickly, I think, if the results aren't going your way. But you look at the player of the seasons he's got, just the fans player of the season awards that he's got. I think every single person here knows just how important he is.
So
the way he's going,
I think
his testimonial has to be a league
class.
I think he's kept us up.
Yeah,
I mean, probably harsh truth, but the first year and the second year, like he's worth 15 points a season. And if you remember Yeovil away, right?
Yes, yeah. We always remember Yeovil away.
The women 0-0. There's 1 point and the guy's in the 6-yard box, right? And it's a point blank save. If that goes in and we lose, we're 3 points adrift, and then we go Exeter away. It's not rosy.
I mean, if he's 20 years old, he'd be gone in a heartbeat.
He's like Tom Heaton. You know, Tom Heaton. That, for me, that's a Tom Heaton.
Yeah.
Same vibe. Just maybe he just hasn't had the school around him or someone around him take him a high level. That's the only
we don't need him to go to a high level.
Lots of high praise there from Glenn Morris. Let's have a look at him in action over the years for the Reds.
Now there was a time when you loved me so, I couldn't drown, but now you need
joined now by Luke from Leyton Orient. Luke, your media officer at Leyton Orient. Thank you very much for coming on the show. I'm not sure if you've seen the show, but yeah, anything could happen. And it normally
Anything does happen.
I did see it when it was recorded at Orient, and one of the fellas came out of the toilet. So
yeah. I mean,
so my expectations are high.
Yeah.
That's low on the highlights.
Most of the stuff in the show should be in the toilet. Anyway, look, interesting season from Leyton Orient so far. Very sort of up and down, it seems, just on the face of it. Only drawn 3 games all season. Is that pretty much how it's been, sort of highs and lows?
Yes, it's crazy. We kind of go on runs where we'll win 3 or 4 in a row and then seem to lose 3 in a row, and it's obviously it's a big factor for us now to try and balance it out and start drawing games, because if we keep giving points away to those that are around us, sooner or later those people are going to be a bit hard to catch. So the manager's spoken a lot about it, and doing the nastier side of
Harder
things.
to beat, yeah.
Yeah, Bolton away at the weekend, ball comes flying over.
Yeah, they're about to start shooting practice, so yeah, anything could happen at this stage.
Great content.
Bolton away at the weekend was probably a prime example of that, where it's 0-0 for a lot of the game and in the balance, and probably didn't do the hard things well enough and ended up coming away empty-handed.
Yeah.
What are the expectations for the season from kind of the fans' point of view? I know for Crawley it's normally just let's stay up and anything above that's a bonus. But is that the same for Orient, or do they have higher expectations?
I think there's probably a range of expectations really in terms of what people put after. I think obviously last year it was an 18th place finish, so I think first and foremost kind of building on that. But with the kind of squad we've got, a lot of people are saying there's no reason we can't aim for the playoffs. We're missing Danny Johnson at the moment, and you guys will know it's not easy to replace goals.
We spoke about him earlier on, about how it looked as though you were very reliant on his goals. Is that the case? I think you have won. Have you won or lost the last 2 games?
We won 1 without him, so he came off in the Salford game, and then we won the next game against Morecambe, 2-0. But yeah, I mean it's impossible. Well, it's not impossible, but it's very tough to replace goals. Connor Wilkinson's I think had 10 for the season. Yeah. But tonight we have Ruel Satiri, who's starting through the middle, who kind of burst onto the scene last year, scored 5 in 9, and has kind of gone off the boil a little bit. So he'll be desperate to prove himself.
And obviously, we've got 1 million around and a midfield veteran in Danny Bullman. Obviously, you've got one yourselves in Joby McAnuff. But I looked and I thought, maybe he'll just come off the bench every now and then. He's a regular feature. I think he's funny enough on the bench tonight. But how important is it from that point of view that what is he, 37 maybe?
39.
39. Yeah, then still going strong. How important is he to the team when he's involved?
I think he's been fantastic this season. Last season, I think it's really important to take into account as well. He actually played 1 game. He was injured for the whole season, so he's come back on the back of that at 39 years old, and he's been pretty much the heartbeat of the team. If you look at his stats, his take-ons are higher than, he's one of the highest percentage in the league still at his age, and it just goes to show that what he does is he leads by example. He's a fantastic leader in the dressing room. Very dangerous here. Wow.
This is life without Waters. That's what this is.
It's invested like a little screen, I think. But yeah, he's the heartbeat of the team in the dressing room, and leaders are so important, as you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and finally, what are before we'll get you out of the firing zone ASAP, what are your predictions for tonight?
I think it's going to be a very similar game to the last one in terms of it'll probably hang in the balance for a lot. We've just bought Tristan Abrahams on loan on the bench, so I'm sure we'll see him introduced at some point. It's one of those who said, we probably due a draw, so I think tonight maybe a 1-1 draw would take.
Take a 1-1 draw. Fantastic. Luke, thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks,
Luke mentioned there about when we went to the Brea Group Stadium, isn't it? Let's have a look at how the game went last time when these 2 teams met.
Decent home run, Orient. 4 straight home league wins. Since a 1-1 draw here against Exeter on the 27th of October. Set wide by Matthews. Oh, and that's a clear foul by Widdowson. Only free kick chance here. Not really a shooting one, but definitely for a good ball in. So Archie Davies fouled. And Sam Matthews will have this free kick. Just whips it in. Oh, that's an own goal. It's a brilliant headed finish that is completely unintentional. Josh Coulson with it. And with 15 minutes gone, Crawley have grabbed the lead. Matthews with the difficult free kick, and poor old Coulson. His reaction says it all, the former Cambridge United centre-half. Recently in Orient colours, of course. Noted handball appeals. Happy strikes it long. These two have had plenty of goals in them this season. 7th against 6th in terms of goals scored this season. Plenty of time to add some more goals to this game, of course. And Orient have offered plenty of threat. Widdowson, little ball round the corner, good cross. McAnuff, back in, 1-1. It's another own goal. How bizarre, 2 in the same game. Tom Dallison this time. And with just 4 minutes to go until the break, it's Orient 1, Crawley 1. McAnuff putting it back into the danger area. Didn't look to be on target. 1-1. Up next for Leyton Orient, Cambridge United away, then Southend followed by Salford, both at home. Followed by Carlisle United away. Here we come now. Brophy, still going Brophy. Jinking feet, decent pullback. Good save by Morris. And they just about got it away. The flag was up for offside. Against Danny Johnson, just trying to add to his ever-growing tally. 15 goals in all competitions this season already. Once he was in the wrong place at the right time. Been the stronger side in this game, Orient. Lots of force going forward, primarily for this man, McAnuff. Looks wide. Brophy, still going Brophy. Oh, good save with his feet by Morris. Orient still pushing to find what could be the winner. James Brophy denied. Enough inside. And we of course have got the FA Cup home game against Leeds United in the 3rd round to look forward to on Saturday the 10th. And now here they come. 1-1 back by Powell, and now Naddison's been released. Naddison round the outside. Good first time ball across. It's Waters! And they've scored! Totally against the run of play. With time running out, Crawley Town edge themselves in front. So cruel on Leyton Orient, caught on the break. Great ball in behind by Powell. Released the substitute, Ashley Naddison. He found Waters. Good control on the run. And then the finish to match. His 16th goal in 17 games across all competitions. He is flying at the moment. 8 minutes left, and it's 2-1 Crawley. It's a corner. And there's a bit of afters starting. Daniel Happe got there. Nearly did. And then the scuffle has begun. Not what we want to see. Referee Scott Oldham in there trying to separate things. All a bit needless. Frustration's boiling over for Orient. And it will be an 8th loss in 12 games across all competitions for Leyton Orient. The 3rd loss in 4 in the league. A game they've dominated, but Max Waters with the late winner means that it's a 2nd away league win in their last 24 trips for Crawley, who go above Orient with victory and just 3 points off the playoff spots. Finishes Orient 1, Crawley 2.
Okay, I'll throw to him. Yes, welcome back to the People's Pension Stadium. Let's go to Harry Maynard to run through. Our live reporter on the scene, Harry Maynard, to run through tonight's team.
Yeah, just the one change, Joe, like we said earlier. Just Naddison coming in for Maguire, Drew. So it's getting him back involved. Same shape, I'd imagine. Morris, Dallison in at left back, Frankham at right back, and Tunnicliffe and Craig, the 2 centre halves. Hesson-Tyler, Powell. Oh, no, I am distracted.
I don't know if you noticed, we're trying not to get hit by footballs.
Hesson-Tyler, Powell right in the middle with Matthews, Naddison and Nichols up top. So again, like we touched on earlier, I think it'd be refreshing for Reds fans to see Naddison come back in. He's got that turn of pace that, you know, if we're a little bit backs to the walls, we can just turn Orient and try and get him behind. So I think it's a good enough lineup to go out and win the game.
Every time we go away, we get to these away games courtesy of the Ryan Cantor Club, and I'm always telling you how great they are. But this time we've got other people to tell you how great they are. It's the Ryan Canter Club advert.
Hi, I'm Debbie Hay. I'm chair of the trustees of the Dame Vera Lynn Children's Charity. We're based at Cookfield in West Sussex, which is not a million miles away from the Ryan Canter Club. Hence why Keith and the club have helped us over the past year or so. The Ryan Canter Club supports us by providing us with a vehicle, which is fantastic because it means our outreach worker can go out and actually visit families in their houses. Lingfield needs two chase vehicles all the time, obviously for all the races. It being the busiest racecourse in Europe, that's a lot of races. And our then car supplier was restructuring the business, should we say. So, yeah, so we had a bit of an immediate problem and I was introduced to you via email, I think, and then I popped up at your office one day and sat over a coffee, if I remember rightly.
I really wanted to invite you here to get your new car because 8 years ago we did a video of you collecting a new car from us.
You did?
At Brighton Racecourse, so we thought, why not collect your new car at Lingfield Racecourse?
Yeah.
So it's been great. I mean, we don't see each other very often, but we have dealt with each other, probably Mark and I, for what, 10 years?
At least 10, probably more.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What we're trying to show to all of our customers and potential customers is that we are nice people to deal with. We value our customers for years. We go with them through the good times and bad times, but we never leave each other. And well, what we're trying to do through the Canter Club is offer people that simple solution. And what we've found, I mean, we've been doing it, 3 years now? If we have a customer that's broken down or they've had an accident or they've got a flat tyre, they ring you and it's dealt with. And the other thing is, obviously, you run a lot of vehicles and the Canter Club's been able to help you with your vehicle supply, so we actually work together and dovetail, don't we?
You've always got a solution for it.
Yeah, no, we have. That's why we get on so well, Andy.
It is.
Okay, we just have enough time for the return. Have you got the intro? No. It's higher or low. Oh my God! It's higher or low.
Oh my God, it's higher or lower with talk of the town.
Yes, it's higher or lower here on Talk of the Town, brought to you by Harry Maynard. We have got Ian from Community and Sam.
He sounds like the guy that does it normally.
Both previous losers on higher or lower, I believe. Ian, if it's any consolation, Sam was the worst player we've ever had on the show.
I do remember. I did.
GTS destroyed me at Salford away, and I will never forgive him for that.
GTS was just don't fall off the stage, for goodness sake. GTS was a strong player, but you were particularly poor, Sam. Are you expecting more today?
I am, and I'm hoping there's no questions about Nigel and Brian Clough, because obviously last time that also didn't end great for me. So let's just hope for a few.
So the guys, Sam will give them the question. If they think it's higher, they will point their microphones up. If they think it's lower, they will point them. Okay, let's play. Higher or lower?
You'll be delighted to know that every single question is about Crawley and Leyton Orient. Is there anything about height? No, that's what I got done with last time, right? I had loads of time to prep this, so we've got some top quality questions.
I'm going to stop them looking.
Question 1. Last season, Leyton Orient finished with 42 points, despite the year being cut short because of the pandemic. But did Crawley manage to get a higher or lower points total?
Ooh, higher or lower?
We've got an answer.
Sam has gone lower. Ian has gone higher. The answer is Harry.
Higher.
It's higher. Sam continues.
For you, Mum. Continues my zero. I will say
Sheffield United higher or lower.
I have faced 6 questions in higher or lower, and I am 0 to 6 in points.
Harry,
so here we go.
I'll just continue in form.
Right. Danny Johnson is Orient's top goal scorer so far this season, but does he have a higher or lower amount of goals than Tom Nichols?
They've both gone higher. I'm going higher as well because they're both right. Sorry.
Do you want to celebrate now? It's higher.
It's a point on the ball.
Joe's only research to this show was how many goals has Danny Johnson scored.
More than normal.
Question 3. Orient's midfielder Joby McAnuff is in his 7th season at the club, but is his age a higher or lower number than Crawley's Tony Craig?
The age or squad?
Can higher or lower, Sam?
Sorry, is his age higher? Or,
Oh, Ian's gone lower. Sam, what have you gone?
Higher.
It is higher.
Oh, well done, Sam.
Well, thanks, Joe.
Well done.
It's raining.
39 to 35. That. Question 4. The Reds were founded in 1896.
Allegedly.
But is that year a higher or lower number than the year Leyton Orient were formed?
Higher is in like founded earlier, or
no? A higher number would mean founded later.
If it's newer, it's a higher number.
ah.
Get a point
It's
taken
all
off
right.
of that.
There's a game of football kicking off in a minute, Sam. Feel free to give an
I'll
answer.
go higher.
Going
I'm
higher.
still not sure.
Everyone's learning at home these days, so
Yes, yeah.
understand the frustrations. It is lower.
Oh well, at least
That's
we
what
won.
I said.
Yeah.
What's the score? Anyone know?
I'm winning.
2-2.
I think it's 2-2.
Okay.
It's 2-2. Here we go.
this a
I
tiebreaker?
haven't got a tiebreak, so you can't have the same answer here.
Oh, okay.
Question 5.
You let me know first.
Yeah. So far this season, Orient as a team have scored 34 goals in the league, but have cruelly scored a higher or lower amount.
You'd have to make
Okay, I can do a tiebreak. You're both right. It is higher.
So you would have come in then if I got lower. It would have been an embarrassment again.
What's your tiebreak,
Right, the tiebreaker is: have Crawley then scored a higher or lower amount of goals than 37 goals?
What was the question?
Have we scored more than... It could be the same, right?
Have we
Is that what you're
conceded?
implying?
No, have they scored a higher or lower amount of goals than 37 goals in a season? That makes sense.
Yeah, I'm happy.
His borders open.
I've had mine.
Sometimes on this show, things don't always go to plan. Tonight has been a whole hour of things that haven't gone to play. Thank you to all our guests for joining. Thank you to the many of you who have watched the show. I can only apologise. And hopefully you'll join us again on Saturday.
Yeah.
To Harrogate. Good night. Enjoy the game.
Come on, you Reds.
you Reds.
For reference...
What a show! If you enjoyed it as much as we did, you need to subscribe to our YouTube channel, hit that bell icon so you can be notified about when we are next live here from Talk of the Town. Make sure you don't ever miss an episode, subscribe, hit the bell, and we will see you again very soon.